Hi, T.O.T. Carlson here. Sony Pictures is going back and doing remastered Dolby Vision reissues of a lot of their earlier titles that were released in the infancy of the 4K format, often giving them nice new Steelbook packages in the process. The latest movie to get this treatment is Glory, the classic Civil War epic from 1989. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. Here's our cover art with our soldiers and the title of the film, top of the backing card with a list of the stars of the film, side of the spine, back of the backing card. Under there you got some nice art of a soldier. We get a digital code of the film. We get the film in 4K Ultra High Def, of course, now featuring Dolby Vision. And we have a Blu-ray release of the film as well. And this Blu-ray release says 2009 on it, so I'm guessing this is identical to the previously released Blu-ray. And a nice panoramic shot of soldiers marching behind the discs and the digital code. The heart-stopping story of the first black regiment to fight for the North in the Civil War, starring Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Cary Elwes, and Morgan Freeman. Broderick and Elwes are the idealistic young Bostonians who lead the regiment. Freeman is the inspirational sergeant who unites the troops, and Denzel Washington, in an Academy Award-winning performance, is the runaway slave who embodies the indomitable spirit of the 54th Regiment of Massachusetts. There are a lot of movies out there about the Civil War. There are a lot of movies out there about the African-American experience over the decades and centuries. Glory combines both of these elements, and it tells a very powerful story set in the American Civil War, featuring black troops who, of course, were widely discriminated against at the time, but who ultimately, despite their differences and quarrels with one another and their commanding officers, eventually united together and fought against the Confederacy, winning some victories for the North. It's a great cast film, and of course the production values here are top-notch. You'd really believe that you were taken back to the 1860s when you watched this, just based on how good the production design is. Of course, the main character in the film is the white commanding officer portrayed by Matthew Broderick. Broderick, of course, just 3 years prior to this had starred in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, one of the greatest comedies of all time. So seeing him take on a more dramatic role like this was certainly a 180-degree turn, but he actually plays the part exceptionally well. You see a man here who's very conflicted and certainly a three-dimensional character that's worth watching and adds a lot to the film. And then you have performances from Cary Elwes, who, of course, prior to this starred in The Princess Bride, portraying his fellow co-commanding officer trying to whip the regiment into shape. And then you have the likes of Morgan Freeman playing one of the black men who, of course, rises to a position of prominence and helps lead his troops to victory. And then you have Denzel Washington portraying a runaway slave, a character who's pretty bitter and outright unlikable, but by the end of the film, he'll absolutely have won you over thanks to his heroics and efforts. And this is a movie that, well, it certainly pays homage to these African Americans who teamed up to fight against the Confederacy. It never glorifies, pardon the bad pun, this experience. I mean, we see troops here that are ill-equipped, who don't even have shoes, whose feet are blistered from walking barefoot during their marches. We see squalid, dirty living conditions, and of course the discrimination that these men had to endure during their training, and then everything both on and off the battlefield they dealt with. I mean, this movie paints a picture better than nearly any other film that's tackled a subject like this. The movie is rated R and certainly earns that rating for its scenes of violence. I mean, in the opening scene of the movie, we literally see someone's head explode. And then when we get to the further battle scenes, similar violence ensues. It's a movie that holds nothing back. This is absolutely not a PG-13 rated film. It earns its R rating through and through. And I mean, there's not even a ton of battle scenes because the movie actually takes the time to flesh out its characters, something I greatly appreciated. Glory is a fantastic film, and I'm very happy to see that this did get a remastered reissue with Dolby Vision. This is one of the absolute best films that Sony has in its vaults. And this is a beautiful looking disc that just really takes you back in time to when the movie was set. The detail, the colors, the shadow detail, black levels, everything else in between. The 4K on here looks absolutely phenomenal. I did not own the prior 4K that lacked Dolby Vision, so I can't really say how big of an improvement this is, but I do imagine, if nothing else, it would probably be a slight uptick. If you already own the film on 4K from the prior release, I can't say for sure if this is worth the upgrade, but I am happy to see what's here. The Blu-ray disc that's included actually does include some of the archival bonus features, and the 4K disc itself includes a theatrical trailer as well as a video commentary track, so it is good to see that there are some supplements here. Glory is one of the greatest war films ever made, and certainly one of the greatest films about the African-American experience ever made. And the movie is well worth watching regardless of who you are. Just be warned though, it does earn its R rating for its violence, so keep that in mind if you're one of the squeamish types out there. How about you? Are you a fan of Glory? Do you think this is one of the best Civil War movies ever made? Do you think it's one of the best movies ever made about the African-American experience? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you listen to like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.